Tea was a typical Thursday afternoon at Marlo SuperMart, a small but busy grocery store in the heart of town. The fluorescent lights buzzed above, casting a cold glow over shelves stocked with everyday essentials. Near the checkout lanes, Ella, a cashier, was bagging groceries for a middle-aged woman, Claire, who was visibly frustrated. Claire had spent far too long eyeing the candy aisle before finally placing her items on the counter. As Ella scanned the groceries, Claire muttered under her breath, clearly irritated about something. She gripped the counter tightly, as if trying to steady herself from an invisible wave of frustration. When Ella finished scanning and told Claire her total, the shopper hesitated for a moment before snapping, "You're stealing from me." Ella blinked in confusion. "Excuse me?" "You heard me," Claire shot back, her face reddening with indignation. "You charged me for something I didn't buy. This is a scam. I want to speak to your manager." Taken aback but keeping her composure, Ella calmly checked the register screen. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but everything seems to be correctly charged." Claire's eyes narrowed as she pointed accusingly at the register. "I know what I saw. You rang up an extra item. I'm not paying for it. You're trying to rip me off." Ella's heart began to race. She had dealt with difficult customers before, but this felt different. Claire's voice was rising, and her anger was starting to attract the attention of other customers waiting in line. "Ma'am, please," Ella said, trying to stay calm. "If there's a mistake, we can always check it, but there's no need for accusations. You're just covering your tracks, aren't you?" Claire shouted, her face flushed with fury. "I'll have you arrested for this. You won't get away with stealing from me." Feeling a twinge of panic, Ella quickly called for the manager, Derek, who rushed over to assess the situation. Claire continued her rant about being swindled by the cashier, but Derek remained composed. He calmly reviewed the receipt and scanned the items. "It seems everything was charged correctly," Derek said, his voice steady but firm. "There's no overcharge." The color drained from Claire's face. She had been so sure of her accusation that she hadn't bothered to double-check the details. The receipt was clear, the items matched, and there was no discrepancy. Her anger faltered, and she began to backpedal. "Well, I must have misunderstood," she muttered, clearly embarrassed. But before she could retreat, a security guard, who had been quietly observing the exchange, approached. "Excuse me, ma'am," he said politely. "We've noticed you've been acting suspiciously. We have reason to believe you've been concealing merchandise in your purse." Claire's eyes widened in disbelief. "What? That's preposterous." "Ma'am, I'm afraid we'll need to check your bag," the guard said firmly. As the guard opened her purse, a shocking discovery was made: expensive cosmetic.